Watch Santa Barbara's #1 podcast, Santa Barbara Talks with Josh Molina, every Monday at newshawk.com. Can you talk to me a little bit about the origin of Chicano Culture SB and how you started it and why?
Yeah, absolutely. And it would be my pleasure. So for everyone out there, to make it easier for the folks who are listening, if you want to read the article, I've been interviewed by The Independent. Just put, Chicano Culture SB, Michael Montenegro. I've been published by them. So if you want to get more details, but to focus on my project, I established it in 2014 as just a natural duty to, represent and, have representation with our stories. I took Chicano Studies with Manuel Unzueta, the legend muralist in Santa Barbara. So many of his murals are of his, and so many generations he's mentored. So I was really fortunate. I took his course. That changed my mind with the idea of being Chicano. Fast forward 2014. That's where Facebook was really peaking at that time, in the mid 2000s. And at that time, I was working for this social media marketing company called DG Bunch, and they pretty much, the guy that ran it, Lance Rio, he's like my mentor. He had a bunch of other pages, being Latino, being Puerto Rican, being Chicano, and etc. I've linked up with some other folks. Long story short, I was running Being Chicano, and I was able to get it from 30,000 to over 300,000 in a really short time. And the reason why is because I was creating authentic content. So that's part of my title. Yes, I'm a filmmaker. Yes, I'm a historian. But to be all inclusive, I just say I'm a digital content creator and also a community historian. I'm the founder of Chicano Culture SB. But yeah, it's a community project. So with that said, 2014, I was working for them, and I was like, you know what? I need to have my own page, my own brand, and my own thing, because I didn't own that page. And I started that, and from there, just did little by little. It started in Facebook. So if you go on Chicano Culture SB or the Santa Barbara, you can see my very first post and see the growth of my content and my writing. Then from there, I also founded the Santa Barbara Mural Bike Ride. I've always been extremely passionate about murals and how murals rolls in the community. So yeah, I founded that. You can also find the article on The Independent. So yeah, I'm all about cycling, murals, history, tours, engaging with people. So yeah, and with that, and fast forwarding today, consistency. And I think that's one of my best advice for every people out there who's listening is to be consistent. Anyone could start up a Instagram page or Facebook, whatever, TikTok. But what's your brand about? What are you doing? Are you doing it for fun? You doing it as a duty? Or if you don't know, just do it. Just be consistent. Try your best. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I did that, and yeah, it's like I said, I started Facebook, and I was and I actually really only got into Instagram maybe 2 years ago, mm-hmm. And yeah, and little by little started getting more followers. And I never pay for advertising. I make all my content original. I'm all more about the caliber of your followers. I don't really care about the numbers. Yeah. And also I do it more just quality of the stories. I do it, one of your questions is how do I do the process? Yeah. And I just, one of the words I said, it's it's a natural duty. So some stuff I do have planned. I have all kinds of unfinished projects, so many cool stuff. But, I have a life. No one pays me to do this. So I try my best, and, I make posts. Sometimes tragedies happen. Sometimes I'm in the right time and place. And I'm on break and someone sends me a photo and be like, yeah, I can repost it right now. Sometimes, and also since it's a community platform, since what's the purpose? Our mission statement is to, this is something I developed because I was like, wow, what's our mission? I am just one person, but I feel like I'm serving a community. Like a lot of people message me. I have a lot of priceless relationships with older generations that mean the world to me. And so with that said, I don't know. It's just kind of like an organic process. And when it comes to criteria, what type of stuff goes on the page, it's essentially I cover, well, going back to the mission statement, to empower youth and foster community pride. That's essentially what my page does, my community project, my brand. It does that. And that's my duty. And now going to criteria, geographically, I like to cover from the 805. The 805 is, for me, it's from Santa Maria area, including, Santa Barbara County, to all the way to Oxnard, to like Fillmore, Santa Paula. That area, that geographic area is very important to Santa Barbara, or just historically, when it comes to like farming and migratory seasons of, people from Santa Barbara, campesinos from back in the day would go to Oxnard to go pick the beets, watching the tide because there wasn't a bridge back in the day. And, anyways, so that's what I like to do, but I like to mainly focus on Santa Barbara, Goleta, and Carpinteria.
Where do you get your images from? So people will send you stuff and ask you to post it, and then do you take your own pictures around town? And a lot of times, like I'll see you'll have like a vintage poster or like Casa de la Raza, like something that is a historical sort of artifact. How do you get your images?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a whole combination of things. People personally send it to me. I do like detective work. I have my resources online, and it's a constant, that's the thing with today, since we live in an informational age, there's so much information out there. It's more about like, how can you find it? It's like using every type of clues and like cross-referencing situations. Like for example, the image behind me, it was done by Anthony Preto, a little spider who was from Santa Barbara and is a great community leader. He, I'll just duck down a little bit. It says Santa Bruta, and it was published in the Lowrider magazine when Sony Madrid was around. So that's like the type of research I do. I go to friends, like I have this one homie, John Medina from Golden Eagle Tattoo. He let me check out his lowrider magazines, like vintage lowrider magazines, because I have that trust with him and he supports my work. And so I go about stuff like that. And I go into, since my work is like academic in a way, but I always like to write it in a way where it's easy to digest, so anyone could read it. So, I check books, I could show you an example, and I have a post for folks who want to know more about this. This is Chicanos in a Changing Society by Albert Camarillo, and it was published in 1979. And it focuses on the history of Santa Barbara from 1848 to 1930. And it's amazing. And this essentially has been like the foundation of my work, because going to being a historian, I'm personal friends with Neil Graffy, and Tom Madrago from the Goleta historian. I'm humbly saying I am well respected as a historian with other big names in town. So my niche is like, you know, a lot of this information is common, but I'm saying I'm telling it from a Chicano perspective.
Yeah.